Alright, so today we're going to be working on factoring. So factoring is just going to be the opposite of multiplying two binomials. So instead of having two binomials and doing the crab claw multiplication, we're going to start with our trinomial and then work backwards to get to those two binomials. So, in two cases, first, factoring when my c is a positive number. Always want to get my equation in standard form first. So I always want to get everything over to one side, and then my exponents from biggest to smallest. So when my c is positive, the two numbers we're looking for inside of parentheses down here are going to be either both positive or both negative. To figure out what these numbers are, I ask myself, what are two numbers that when you multiply them, you get our c value, and when you add them, you get their b value. So the way that I'm going to do this is, for this example, 16 is my c value, 8 is my b value. So I want two numbers that multiply to give me 16 and add to give me 8. So I'm going to go through my list. 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and 4 times 4. Those are all the different ways I can multiply to get 16. So then which one of these adds up to give me 8? So 4 and 4. Then I split these off into two separate equations. X plus 4 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Minus 4 and a minus 4, minus 4 and a minus 4. So x is equal to negative 4. Here's another one. I'm going to do this one over here on the right end. So first thing I'm going to do is get it in standard form, so I'm going to move my 10 to the other side. So get x squared minus 17x plus 60 equals 0. I go through my list of all of the numbers that multiply to give me 60. We got 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 4 times 15, 5 times 12. Actually, that ends up being the one I want, because 5 times 12 multiplies to give me 60. If I add 5 and 12 together, I get 17. The tricky part here is, when I put my parentheses here, I know that I want 5 and 12. The trick is getting the right signs. Since this is a negative 17 here, not a positive 17, I want to make these both subtraction signs. Because negative 5 plus negative 12 gives me negative 17, and also negative 5 times negative 12 gives me positive 60. This is the same thing here. When my c is negative, one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative, so they're going to be different signs, and then I still do this the same way. Two numbers, multiply, I get my c value, add them, I get my b value. So for this first one here, all the different ways I'm going to want to multiply to get negative 8, add to get negative 2. So I have 1 and 8, and 2 and 4. The kind of trick to this one is, since they're going to be different signs, I'm going to find the one that has a difference of whatever my b value is. So something that has a difference of negative 2, that would be 2 and 4 has a difference of negative 2. Or a difference of 2, I guess. You don't really have to say negative. But then putting these into the right spot is the tricky part. When I add them together, I want them to get equal negative 2. So I'm going to make the bigger number the same sign as my b value. So the bigger number is 4. I'm going to make that negative, since my b value is negative 2. And then my smaller number is going to be 2. So again, I multiplied 2 times negative 4, I get negative 8. I add 2 and negative 4, and I get negative 2. Split these off into two problems. So x is equal to negative 2 or positive 4. Same thing down here with this last guy. First thing I'm going to do is subtract 6 to both sides. Get x squared plus 3x minus 18 equals 0. Put my parentheses. I know they're going to be different signs. One's a plus, one's a minus. All the different ways to multiply to get 18. 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. The one that has a difference of whatever my b value is, difference of 3 is 3 and 6. Again, my b value is positive 3, so I want my bigger number to be positive, so positive 6. negative 3. 6 plus negative 3 gives me sorry, 6 plus negative 3 gives me positive 3. 6 times negative 3 gives me negative 18, so it checks out. So x is equal to negative 6 or positive 3. And there's the homework.